Okay.
We're now live, Ben, so this is your show, okay?
Evening. Hello.
Take it to the hilt.
Get to the hilt. What does that even mean? Good evening, patrons. Fellow hatred. Silly bastard. James is just getting ready. He's got a jiggle around, and they're making a deal right now. So I'm just going to wait until James comes back because I don't really have anything interesting to say until then. No, I can hear him chopping up a line as we speak. Yeah, he's doing okay. Me, on the other hand, I've become gay. We're going to have a very serious talk tonight about all sorts of things. Moon, booms, and cartoons, and tunes, and everything you could possibly imagine. It's going to be an amazing podcast. Probably one of the best. Probably one of the best. He's scrubbing something. What is he scrubbing? Nobody knows. I think he's printing fake money. But who knows? If you're having a fantastic evening or morning, wherever you are, across the globe, there we have quite a lot of fans. And I think the host is ready to show his face. Ooh, here he is.
Just
The one and only James.
don't give my full name on here.
I didn't. I just said James. That's what it says on your...
Well, yeah, there's 2 viewers now, so anything could happen now. Probably
God.
Phantom Cooper and his friend Phyllis from Milwaukee, who's right now, getting really pumped, jazzed, and, in a state of constant excitement for the Oscars. It's Oscars frenzy now. I would put on that Tim and Eric song. Well, no, Tim Heidecker, where it's the Oscar fever, but that's just asking for trouble, where people basically, end up saying that the videos are copyright. So it's best just to do our own thing on here. And as you can see, I've just been spraying myself with lube, or, well, not lube. It's basically a thing from the Body Shop, it's for the skin. Because as you can see, I'm already quite bronzed on today, the 2nd of March, because it's basically summer here now.
No, it's getting to spring here.
And when I go out in the sun a little bit, it really bronzes me easily because my skin is quite fair, I think. But on the other hand, not that fair. It's not like I'm, totally. It's good for you to be in the sun a bit, isn't it? But I do feel
I've got vitamin D and all that serotonin.
Yeah, I mean, I do like looking bronzed, but not in a sense of like trying to be, a male model or something hanging around on the street corner.
I quite easily burn in the sun, so I try to wear sunscreen in the summer. And
particularly if you're nude, you go to a resort, don't you, for nudists, or is it just called the beach?
No, every year
in France, I go you just go to the beach and everybody's immediately nude, right?
Yeah, most beaches in France, you have to be nude. You can't even wear speedos.
This is the law. Yeah.
It's a law. Yeah.
If anything, it's discouraged to wear even bottoms or any shorts or things like that on a beach, or
Even
bras.
flip-flop.
If you're a woman, no bra. No,
No
not
bra.
bras, bikinis, no swimsuits. Just get naked on the beach. Doesn't matter what age you are. That sounds really
Well,
wrong.
yeah. Well,
Actually,
yeah.
yes.
Maybe those are like halves. Half of the beaches in France, but most of
Mm.
them respect your private
With a massive smell of like baguettes
genitals.
smothered in cheese and
Like,
garlic infused cheeses and sorry, it's gone a bit prejudicial
that was
again.
my
And
hey. You just guessed the dinner that I just ate,
basically, it's cheese with garlic in it. That's it.
and a baguette.
That sounds like a really. It's the kind of meal that I would be able to prepare. As you could probably hear my microwave there, that's so loud because it's made in 1987 or something, and or probably 97. I really need to get a new microwave. So I think
Doesn't
this
it have
one
to?
might be giving me radioactive things into my genitals, and yeah,
Oh yeah. I
it's
understand
basically
that.
got a dial on it type of situation. No, it's not. It's buttons, but it's just it's
But
got to
like,
the point where you can clean it and it doesn't look clean. So it's pretty
no.
much gone past its sell-by date, in my opinion. But
But
I'm all into
that, that,
recycling and stuff, Ben. So you know, it's
do you know what?
uh,
I mean, I don't want to get you sued or anything, but what brand is it? Your microwave?
I can look when I go and get the curry, but I don't know. That's
No, no, no.
it's probably not
Don't
even a
don't
brand. It's
even tell
like
me.
it's just
But
generic, like from Tokyo. But it's like not even a brand.
ooh,
It's that
you've broken up
basic.
a bit.
Well,
Well,
it's
things are
not.
built in with built-in obsolescence now. So anything you've bought in the past
I
25
don't know if
years
that's true.
is designed to break in 5 years. So you buy
I
a
wouldn't
new
say
one,
that's true, Ben. It's just that
including no, no, Apple. That's
that's like saying
Apple's.
my Acer laptop is shit, just basically on the brand. But like, the thing is every laptop is pretty much using the same bits inside. It's more a case of like which one's likely to break the first. Like you could buy an Apple laptop and there still be no good because there's no guarantee just because it's a certain brand that it's going to be fantastic. Like if you have an Apple laptop and you just sit in the bath with it, it's going to break.
Yeah.
And to me,
I
that's
wonder why.
like, well, if you put it, I mean, obviously, I'm talking about if you get in the bath with no water, like I usually do when the fireworks are going off, and I basically think it's World War Three, which could be imminent at any point, and
Yeah.
especially in France and the UK. And it would be good though if some places here were nuked, in my opinion. But don't.
Well,
Hopefully, now AI basically does on StreamYard gets bits of the video and says, "Here's a 2 minute clip of your video," and then that gets more views than the actual live video. It says James encourages nuclear war or something. It will do that, and which I did. Yes, I am. I actually am pro nuclear war, but
well, if we just get like
no,
if we just
that's, I'm
encourage
not.
the English government
I didn't want to go
to,
down this area to be honest, but
yeah, I know that's what we said before the
where
podcast.
we should nuke America.
No, no, no. I was saying we should just nuke the entirety of Russia.
No, I think we should firebomb NASCAR events, and that will help.
That'll help.
Because most
Yeah.
people who go to those things are basically brain dead, idiots. So,
Yeah, you only have to
or
go left. You only have to
any
go in a
people,
nobular.
just any Stephen King book signing, even though I don't have an opinion, I don't have a bad opinion of Stephen King himself, but yeah, no, I'm not saying that should happen. That's bad. I mean, obviously, there's plenty of people who go to NASCAR events who are great people, and
Yeah.
I want to meet their whole family, including the ones that are finger banging their cousins. But you know, or on meth, and but you know, it with no teeth and stuff. But
Right. Well, yeah. No,
you
I
know, I
mean,
don't mean to be.
you're
I
hitting
know
all
I'm
the marks,
being
though.
a bit stereotypical, but yeah,
That is
Phantom Cooper's here now, bringing in the communist angle, of course, or he's actually an
very.
ex-member of the band the Communards with Jimmy Somerville, if you remember that.
I didn't know that.
Of
No,
course, you don't
that's
know
important.
my 80s references because you're very, very young and I'm old now. I am officially just getting a pension for doing coffee time as basically a job.
Yeah.
People are like, what's your job? Well, I do coffee time on YouTube. What is that exactly?
With
It's
fantastically,
basically we do it for Phantom
amazingly
Cooper and that's it, one person.
articulate
I hope you
guest
appreciate. Well, yeah, I mean, we've
who
got a fantastic guest
understands
like Ben who's in France,
who
and
understands the word.
then we make stereotypical jokes about French people all being nudists or eating cheese with garlic in it. Well, that sounds like a really good way of
I'm allowed
spending
to
your free
do that.
time.
I'm allowed to do that because my French heritage.
Well, yeah, you're allowed to do it. I'm not because I don't have any French relatives.
No,
But
you can take a cheap shot if you want. I don't mind.
I don't. I'm not taking any cheap shots because I've been to France, you know, and I have a. I like it, you know. So I have a fondness for France as a whole.
Mostly, okay.
Perhaps. I mean, you know, I don't have any issues with anything to do with France because, like, when I've been there, I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty relaxed and pleasant scenery. You know, the food's good. It's better than being in England, basically. So,
Food is
I
very
mean,
good.
not that being in the UK is terrible. It's probably a lot better than it used to be if you were going back to the 80s or something. I mean, I think Phantom Cooper, to be honest, in terms of keeping up with the chat rather than me just responding in 10 minutes or something, which I usually do, like, which I only do because it's just a way of spanning out the show because there's only one person in the chat, which obviously I don't mind. I appreciate you being here, Phantom Cooper, don't get me wrong, but it's just,
Yeah, hey, Phantom Cooper.
it's kind of, I think
Long time
some people might know about the channel, but because we've not done videos for over a month regularly and they're not the news about Lynch, like I have reached out to some people who actually, you know, worked on Lynch films, or not, like we're not talking about, you know, Richard Beamer or Ray Wise or something,
No,
but
you were telling me you were speaking to some people who were involved in the
well,
return.
I'm talking about, yeah, but that's not. I don't want to go into naming people. I mean, James Grixoni, who played Jesse, the deputy, has always been very friendly, which is great. But other than that, really, I mean, I'm just talking about people who had small roles in Firewall with Me or Twin Peaks or something, and they just basically say, you know, it seems a bit soon to be doing a video about these things, and also a lot of people are a bit sensitive about the whole thing, you know, which is understandable.
No, I don't think it's too soon, to be honest.
No, it's not too soon because, I mean, other people like, you know, I don't mean to always mention Cameron, but he did like a video as soon as basically the news about Lynch was out. But at that time, I was really not thinking that was a good thing for me to be doing because that was when, you know, I had family in hospital and it was just totally the wrong kind of tactic for me. I'm not into this kind of like, let's just jump on the bandwagon. I mean, to me, it seems a bit like if you're going to do that, then you may as well do a weekly show talking about Lynch films. You know what I mean? Like it. Whereas for the last 2 years or more, I was watching The Return again. I was watching, say, Wild at Heart, thinking, do I actually like this film a lot, or do I just like it because it's Lynch? Like it's a problematic film for me. I'm still curious as to why it won the Palme d'Or, but I think it's a question of just like right place, right time. Sometimes, I mean, I don't think it's Lynch's best film by any means, but it's.
Well, I hate to say it, but that's one of the only Lynch films I have not watched. Wilder.
Well, it's basically like a very much a microcosm of its time, and I think it was a massive influence on other films. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's a brilliant film in itself. I think it's for Lynch, it was very much like his moment in the limelight, and then it almost seemed like they basically just turned against him as soon as they awarded him that. It's just bizarre, really. Not, I don't mean the French critics in particular. I mean more, or people at the Palme d'Or or Cannes or anything. It's like, it's just the general critics. Like, oh, is Lynch actually that good? Why did that get the Palme d'Or? It seems just like almost weirdness for weirdness' sake, while at heart. So he's made a Twin Peaks film now. Oh, we don't like it immediately before we even watched it, you know. And
I didn't like it.
Fire Walk with
Well,
me.
I've upon several rewatches, I do appreciate it in
Or
more ways than
like
I
or
do.
don't like, it's a rather basic way of
No.
describing a reaction to a film. But I think when
Mhm.
it comes to Lynch, especially, and other films that are basically something you have to kind of really respond to on an emotional level, or at least analyze it as well. Not, I don't mean you have to pull everything apart and do a Twin Perfect. I know what Lynch is all about, but I do think being somewhat aware of it as a film and not taking it like when I first saw Blue Velvet, I was a little bit like,
Mm.
oh shit, this stuff's a bit like heavy for me in a way, but you know, I kind of understood it probably on a emotional level, but I do think I was not properly
I think,
versed in films to be fully taking it in,
well,
you know. And
when I first saw Blue Velvet, it was before I watched Twin Peaks. It was after I watched Eraserhead,
I didn't see
and
it probably till I knew of Twin Peaks, the pilot, and then somebody told me they'd seen Blue Velvet, and it involves a Carl McLaughlin who's in Twin
yeah,
Peaks finding an ear. So I'm like, oh, okay, that
yeah,
sounds a bit like Salvador Dali or something. So I went, okay,
yeah.
sounds okay, but it's not as good as Twin Peaks. But then I watched Blue Velvet, and I'm like, okay, this is as good as Twin Peaks, but it's a bit more brutal, and
It's a lot more brutal.
it's got more perturbing, I would say, rather than disturbing. It's got stuff in it that was sexually quite making me
Yeah.
feel pretty uneasy.
I
Uh,
mean, Siskel and Ebert called it a
Mainly the stuff
basically
with
like
Frank. That
Siskel and Ebert called it like a soft core porn snuff film. They
no,
didn't
but bear in mind,
understand it.
my dad's name always, as we were growing up, is Bob. So I'm like, the stuff with Frank being so aggressive and stuff made me feel almost like, oh shit, am I like this or is my dad like this? And I always had I think we all have aggressive side to ourselves, and I wasn't necessarily doing anything on a par with Frank, but it kind of was a bit much for me to take in at a 17 or 16-year old or whatever. And so
I was
I,
younger.
I enjoyed Blue Velvet, but on the other hand, I was like, this is a bit more intense than Twin Peaks. Like, Twin Peaks is kind of, I understand the mood of this and the emotions of it all, whereas with Blue Velvet, it was a bit kind of too, like what you're doing with your fingers now. It was sort of hard for me to grasp. It
Yeah,
and it disturbed me in a way because it made me think of my own flaws and not good things that I'd done in life, i.e., my dark side or whatever you want to call it, my shadow self, you know. And I think we've all done things that we regret, even, and with me, you know, pretty things which would definitely had an impact on people, including myself. But it's not just a selfish thing. But when you think like, am I like my dad? Am I basically just going to be someone who likes drinking way too much? And then I'm going to be like Frank Booth. But then, like, I can't even be near women unless I have a drink. You know, that's just pretty. You know, Frank Booth is a toxic character, but at the same time, he's like understandable on some weird level. Like, he starts getting emotional about the
yes,
song, you
man,
know, and
definitely.
it's like it's really just an exaggeration of Jeffrey in a way. He's Jeffrey's shadow self in a sense, showing Jeffrey how evil men can be in a way, perhaps, or you know. But it's not
Well,
really. I don't think Lynch deals with it in a pure sense of just being evil. It's more like the
well,
fetishism and everything.
well,
Yeah.
Frankenstein is Hopper, right?
Yes, I mean
You know,
he.
Dennis Hopper fought for that role.
Well, yeah, up to that point, he was pretty much he was a totally recovering alcoholic, and Lynch said
Yeah,
initially he wanted to get Robert Loggia, who ended up in Lost Highway, playing Dick Laurent. So they,
that's right. Yeah, I
but
remember.
you can see with Robert Loggia, like he has the same thing going for him, that kind of just almost comical level of anger. But it wouldn't be comical if you were like, in the right with it so much. Because I mean, remember in Blue Velvet when Frank just punches Carl McLaughlin in the face? Oh no, sorry, Kyle does that to Frank, and then Frank's like, but it's almost like Frank is kind of turned on by it, and then he's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
you're like
yeah.
me," and Jeffrey's like, "No, I'm not. I'm the good guy here." No, you're not. You're basically going round to a woman, breaking into her apartment as a pest controller, standing in the
Closet. Yeah,
closet, looking through
and
whilst Frank, and he doesn't do anything for a long time. And in a deleted scene at the start, which are all on YouTube now, he watches a woman nearly get raped or sexually abused by a young jock in his university. And at the end, he just says, he finally goes, "Oh, hey, stop doing that. It's bad to do that to girls," or something. The way he says it is kind of semi-comical, but it's disturbing. And they deleted that from the film probably because I imagine Lynch felt like it was just either making the film too long or it's giving too much insight into Jeffrey's character. And like with Lynch, he always had to have things kind of, this always about the mystery. Like we didn't really understand why Jeffrey's like it is. It's like basically his father becomes ill, and then Jeffrey's dark side comes out, and because his father is replaced by this other father figure in Frank, and so it's about a sort of Oedipal aspect or Freudian to a degree. But if you ask
yeah.
Lynch
But you
about
know
all of
what?
that,
You know what?
he'd deny all of that. So
You
it's
know how like all Lynch films are debated and analyzed
yeah,
and
they're like an
to
enigma
the
wrapped in a
to the
riddle and
to
everything.
the
Yeah,
depth. I never
yeah.
really thought about Blue Velvet. I never really thought. I never really delved into the plot too much. It was just a
Um,
curious kid who came across a couple of psychopaths and a gang.
well, I would definitely describe you as a curious kid. I would actually make a film about you called The Curious Kid from London Town. When just
Thank you
remembering
very
those
much.
some of the great quality banter you had with Philip, really, those were the high points of the show. But then Philip said
Oh,
to me,
God. I can't even
"Can you
remember that.
please stop making a joke about that when you're doing the videos?"
I'm
And
not
the main
making a
thing,
joke about
no, I did it. I made a joke of it, so I'm taking full responsibility for it. But I think with
it.
Philip, he didn't like me making fun of his anger, but I found it really hilarious that he was shouting at you because in many ways that was your comedy routine. Unfortunately, I mean,
I know.
I don't give it the thumbs up, but at the time, I completely understood it and realised that it wasn't supposed to be some genuine argument. It was basically it wasn't quality banter. It was just sort of like a to and fro, But that's the point of the videos, They and when Philip said, "Why have you not rang me?" when he gave me his phone number, I was like, "This is getting a bit too full on now." Like I didn't think that I was doing the video immediately to become ringing people on landlines and stuff, but
Well, you know what? This was
you
a
know,
very long time ago. I was very
yeah, it was. But
disappointed.
it doesn't seem that long ago in terms of
I was,
remembering back on it because it's so vivid and
yeah. Well, I was
relatively
an
speaking, it's not.
argumentative. I was a very, very argumentative person back then,
Yeah,
and
let's
I had
face, you've not changed, Ben. Come on,
a lot of pain in my brain, and there's nothing I could do about it
you don't have to make
apart
any
from drink.
excuses for yourself. It was what it was, and it wasn't like you were trying to have an argument. It was just. I think with Philip, in his to be standing up for him, he was absolutely like making some really good points about Twin Peaks Return and other Lynch things and stuff. I mean, he could be,
I know. I was an
yeah.
idiot.
No, you weren't an idiot then. You were just basically having a laugh on the show because I think the good thing with you is you didn't take Lynch as being like, okay, let's read John chapter 5 and analyze this. Like, okay,
Well,
we're
like
doing
an
Lynch studies
evangelical.
here.
Yeah, like
Well,
it's
no,
evangelical.
well, no, it's like we're doing a reading of it where we're like the ones who know what Lynch means. A bit like Twin Perfect kind of did, where you think, okay, there's millions of people who may have read the Bible or may have watched Twin Perfect, but that doesn't mean that it's all, you have to take it at face value. It's just to make, they're making a reference to Phil Collins now, his album Face Value. But it's just ridiculous to be like that. I mean, anyone who's done been to do analysis at school or whatever, critical analysis, it's about that. It's not about taking everything to verbatim and going, yes, this is what Twin Peaks is about. And that's basically one of the good things about Lynch is that he said, it's subjective. It's
I don't think he ever planned on. I mean, he didn't even want to. He didn't even want to reveal Laura Palmer's killer.
well, the good thing with
But
Lynch
they
is he
forced him
wasn't
to. What was
he
it?
wasn't a
PBS?
he wasn't a
HBO?
celebrity. He wasn't a celebrity, even though they sort of wanted him to be a celebrity. Like he didn't plan on Twin Peaks being hugely popular. Like Blue Velvet was obviously cult, and then he'd been through the Dune thing, and he was like, oh shit, this is not good. I mean, I don't know, maybe he'd been
Yeah,
paid
like
over. I'm sure he got paid $1 million or whatever for Dune, but like at the same time, being trashed by everyone must have been quite a thing to deal with. But I think obviously Lynch got used to it to some degree, and the fact that you probably can live somewhere decent and look after your family or whatever in instances that Lynch was in, and go to Bob's Big Boy every day and have chocolate milkshakes and all this kind of thing. I mean, he obviously got paid for Dune, but the film turning out to be a massive turkey as they saw it would have made him unconfident, and
Well, sorry,
anyway.
can I just? Sorry, can I just?
At this
literally-
moment, I like to splash on Mandy. If I'm ever feeling unconfident, I just put it on
Yeah.
all over. Yeah,
Axe in the neck.
it's now
Like a
available
teenage
in.
armpit.
No, it wasn't. It was under the. I did it like in Hot Fuzz, where he goes. And then, I mean, I don't find Nick Frost that hilarious. Like, okay, I'm a big guy, therefore I'm hilarious.
Oh,
But
well, he's not a trained actor, but he's
Hot,
a natural.
Hot Fuzz is a funny film. I will say that. I don't sit
cool,
there
man.
just watching it like this is not funny. I mean, I'm pretty mainstream with my tastes often, to be fair. And I think with
Well-
Lynch, he took surrealism into the mainstream to a degree. That's what he did with Twin Peaks. Like the pilot episode of the first season, the first pilot episode was getting on 40 million viewers in the US and stuff. So it's not like a sort of a cult obscure thing just off in the corner. Like, oh yes, did you watch Twin Peaks? Yes, I know, gorgeous. Like it was like.
It was what people used to call water cooler moments, where you'd watch Twin Peaks and you'd go to work or wherever, school the next day, and just talk about the latest episode. And it was brilliant. But that still exists, but just in a different medium. That still exists just through online communication. Through
What?
social media. Like water cooler moments.
Oh yeah, everything is like that, but it's at the same time it's like you don't get 40 million people watching
No, you don't. No.
simultaneously watching even the first episode of Stranger Things or something of the new season of Stranger Things when that comes out. It'll be people watching it all at different times in different countries and then people are like, yeah, I watched Stranger Things. Well, it's basically like the last season, really, but a bit different, but basically the same. Whereas with Twin Peaks, it was like a new thing every episode. It was something different, you know, and that's why they brought in different directors, and they didn't want them to just copy Lynch, basically, which pretty much I would say they didn't do. They always brought their own thing. And like Leslie Linka Glatter was one of the directors, and last night I was watching this Day Zero or whatever it's called with, let me get the right title for it, with Robert De Niro. It's actually well made. She directed that, so that's on Netflix now. It's a good, you know, new drama, but not surreal, of course. But it's got elements of perhaps slight surrealism in it. And, you know...
What's the title?
I'm just going to check now. I keep getting it wrong. It's probably one of the better things on at the moment. Zero Day.
Zero Day.
Yeah, on Netflix.
Sounds like a zombie. Sounds like Walking Dead.
It might not be the best title ever known to man, but on the other hand, it's pretty much about what it's. It's only 6 episodes, so it's described as a limited series. But then Twin Peaks: The Return was as well, but it wasn't that limited because it was 18 parts. So, I mean, if you think back to when we watched that, it doesn't seem that long ago. You know, it's relatively speaking, it's not that long. Especially bearing in mind,
a very long time.
It's not, Ben. It's just relatively speaking, especially to do with the.
Yeah, I know,
Sorry about this. It's just playing on the TV.
but that's right.
You know, the pandemic and the COVID whole situation, like where I was doing like COVID therapy videos or COVID support videos every day, made things especially seem a lot longer because, you know, I thought at the time like, oh, this will be fine. It's just like my normal day-to-day life. As in,
Yeah.
you know, I'm just sort of like self-reliant. But then after a while, I started feeling a bit like Josh was right and stuff like with his comments saying this will take a long time to get over. And, you know, he was true to a degree, I think. It depends, obviously. If you got COVID, then obviously that's going to be pretty bad. But, you know, depending on, you know, how it affects you and things. But I think more it was just like, I didn't like the not knowing what the hell was going on, which was not helped by the UK government and stuff. But, you know, then, you know, like, oh yeah, just wash your hands, you'll be fine. Oh no, actually no, we're having a lockdown immediately.
I think no, wait. Don't even go out.
Yeah, also buy food online, basically from Just Eat, to save the nation. I mean, that's...
While I, Boris, go out and
ridiculous.
Have little parties with my very, very rich friends.
Well, it's not just that, it's like... It's just the ridiculousness of it all. Like, let's go outside and bang pots and pans to support people who work for the NHS. Then, as soon as the whole pandemic's lifted or lockdowns are lifted, forget about the NHS. I'm going private, you know, like, anyway, I don't want to, you know, just...
Yeah, no,
I mean, I didn't go private, obviously, but it's just...
it's too expensive, isn't it?
Well, the most people who go private, they're probably... in this country, it's like, you know, someone like working for Royal Mail who thinks they're like, you know, helping the nation by going private, you know. In reality... You're just getting something that other people will have to wait a long time for. And you're not getting any better guarantee of anything, really, other than maybe if you had prostate cancer and then they can shove, you know, lasers into your whatever's growing there and blow it up.
Well,
you know, also, it's not fair, though, is it?
Once you develop cancer and you're...
I didn't want to bring that up as a...
True. They shove opiates into your mouth.
Right.
Like, you know, oxy this and oxy that.
Well, yeah, you can get like...
And they just...
Codeine even is...
hope and pray that you'll get over it.
Well, of course, but I think the thing with like, even something like codeine is it has a cumulative effect where if you keep taking something like that, you don't feel the effects as much. But it then makes you also feel a bit out of it. It's like taking Valium. almost. Anything which works as a um, it has a sedative property to it, doesn't it? These kind of things. So, to a degree, I mean, I think Valium
Have
more
you sent?
obviously.
Have you seen my? Have you seen my?
I don't
Have
know
you seen
about
my
coding.
recent Facebook post?
No, I don't really look at a lot of things on
Um,
Facebook other than just like messages, but even those I don't know.
Sorry, wait.
You
Sorry,
know.
you're breaking up.
Okay.
Um, you know, there's a film about. I think it's about the UK DJ Danny Rampling or someone in a UK DJ in the 90s who lived in Ayia Napa,
Not
and he
Westwood.
was addicted to cocaine. No, not Tim Westwood.
He was a
No,
great guy. He is a
he's
great
he.
guy.
No, he's not.
Well, he is. He's my favourite DJ. What are you talking about? I don't know what the problem is.
Fucker up.
You know, I'm massively into rap music. Okay.
No, you're not. But I
White,
am.
no,
That's the
by
problem.
white guys. Oh yeah, you are. Oh, I'm sure you're really into rap music
There's lots
as a
of
whole.
great rappers, white and
Yeah, but
black.
not to the extent of Westwood though. You're not like
He's not a
you're at.
rapper.
I
He
know
was a
he's not a
presenter.
rapper, but he became basically he's a vicar's son who became black.
Yeah, well,
I mean, for the
when I was in secondary school, no one realized that he was actually white. Like none of my
what they've
black
not
friends
seen him.
realized. No, this was before YouTube and MTV.
But yeah, but they still have photos of him in the media,
Yeah,
newspapers,
well,
or
yeah.
you didn't read
I've got,
magazines. I mean, he
well,
didn't look very white black to me, but I think it's not so much that he got in trouble for. Anyway, he obviously didn't get in trouble for his wigger type thing, but pretty fly for a white guy,
no,
which
it's
is a beautifully racist song from the Offspring. But
not racist.
well, it is a bit. It's like the American.
It's about white kids who just want to act black for clout.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's not exactly tackling the problem of racism, is it? It's making it
No,
into a
I know, but
into a kind of
Tim Westwood was involved with, their underage black girls.
well, I don't know about that, but I
And
think that he
come
was
forward.
definitely going into dodgy areas. But I think thing is, if he wasn't a well-known person, would these have even been found out about? Who
Well,
knows?
yeah. Well, I'm thinking like no one found out about Savile, or no one wanted to
No, but
admit
the thing
Savile
with
until
Westwood is
after
that
he died.
his whole persona and the fact that he was like presenting himself as being this famous DJ who had all of these contacts and things is what enabled him to, you know,
I'm just surprised he didn't get caught sooner because he was having inappropriate relationships with young black girls, like in the mid 2000s.
Hmm.
So I'm just surprised that Tim
well,
Westwood didn't get exposed.
yeah, but is it
To,
that surprising? Not really, you know.
well, I know the BBC covered up Savile.
It's obviously not on
So
a level with Savile, though, is it? Come on, that's like, I mean,
no,
but
it's not on the level with Savile, but it's
not
pretty
equally
bad what
as
he did.
well.
What Tim Westwood got away with.
But at the same
Um,
time, it's pretty much par for the course for that kind of this whole culture of like, yeah,
I don't know.
let's kind of.
I don't think rap culture is necessarily misogynistic and
No, I'm not saying that everything to do with like Westwood is allowable because of the culture, but it's like it's normalised to a degree.
it is,
By
yeah.
But he was probably presenting himself as if he's maybe younger than he really was. But it's not so much that; it's him taking his position and using it to do this. that's the bad problem in my
Yeah, well,
opinion.
that's why I'm surprised that nobody called him out before his
Like if
crimes
he was
were.
only getting involved with 23-year-old women whilst he's in his 50s, and then
No,
it was all
it was like
completely allowed.
15.
Yeah, but if it was all allowed and like they wanted to be involved in it, maybe they just wanted his money or something, like, or they really liked him, then fine. But I mean, yeah, it's still a bit questionable. But it's
Very
not to the extent.
questionable, if you ask
Of course,
me.
it's extent. Yeah, of course, it's questionable. But you know what I mean. It's like it's not the same as.
Not the same as Savile, no.
It's not the same as basically someone doing it in their free time because he was enabling it to happen, or he's enabled to do it through his position, wasn't he? Because he was like, hey, I'm just a
Yeah.
guy in my 30s, like, with dyed black hair and, you know, all pushed forward, like, I'm hanging loose with Eminem now. Hey, guys.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I mean, come on, he
I
was
actually,
absolutely ridiculous, but he is absolutely ridiculous.
I actually do have respect for Eminem, but
Oh,
I
come,
think
yeah, but not
because
Westwood, surely. I mean,
no, but Eminem used to do freestyles on Westwood's Radio One show,
yeah, I know that.
and they were all really good.
I think that Westwood's maybe was coming from he had good intentions to a degree, but you know what they say about good intentions. It's like he was just, you know, he was actually a vicar's son. It's
He was,
just,
yeah, yeah, and he
it's that
pretended to
aspect.
be. I mean, like, I don't like to use this word, but he
It's
was
not
the
like he was born
definition.
in the bloody ghetto,
He
was
was
he?
he was the definition of a wigger, right? And
Yeah, it's
most of
just,
my white friends at school, if they didn't want to be white, then they just had to become wiggers.
but there's
And
nothing wrong with
to
people
be
hanging around with
accepted at
black people,
school,
is there? But it's someone dressing in a massive, oversized sports shirt like American football or whatever the hell he had on, and like
well, he did. You know, he did pimp my rides
doing
on
gang signs
MTV
and stuff. It's just like as
when
if
they exhibit.
he's a member of one of the hardest crews in London. Like in reality,
Oh yeah, well yeah,
he
he was.
grew up with his dad being a vicar. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I know, but
ridiculous.
when he started to mix around with the London rap groups that he had on his show.
Like So Solid Crew,
He
one of
got
my favorite.
into
I know
he got into a lot of
you were a massive fan of So Solid Crew, right?
fuck off.
Weren't you actually in the So Solid Crew at one point? As
Yeah, I know.
as
21 seconds
Ben.
to go. I got 21 seconds to flow.
That's a really
And
good
if you love
song.
it, let me leave it to you. I got 21 seconds before I got to go.
Is the song
I
actually
hate it.
21? The song lasts 21 seconds, I think.
Exactly.
It was
I
like the
hate
song
it.
is designed to be a ringtone back in the early 2000s or something like.
Yeah, I know. Oh,
And it's like,
God.
can you turn that fucking ringtone off now?
Yes.
About 21, and you just hear it on a
Do you have a,
bus, and then someone's playing the whole song on a bus. Jesus Christ!
and you know, like there's like So Solid Crew is like there's like 5 verses and
They're
they
very
don't make any sense.
no, they're very talented people.
Mm.
So great
But you
rappers.
know what? There's so much good rap out there that people don't understand how amazing rap can
Well,
actually
yeah,
be.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure there is. It's not obviously my area, but I think
No,
there are
but there
people
is.
who know about, like, people like the lead singer of Sleaford Mods is very much into like rap and all that, and or garage and all that kind of stuff. But
I was
I mean,
I was
the
more
more
into
rough
rap
side of it.
music than a lot of my black friends. I was more into hip hop because my brother used to buy hip hop CDs like
It's
when I
like
was in.
anyone can do it. Someone can just do it in their bedroom as a like on GarageBand or you know all these
I'm halfway writing a rap song.
some free.
Like
All
just
right,
before you called me, I was like,
no,
I'd
you
written
weren't.
a verse. Well, I've
Why? I
written a
don't think you should
freestyle.
do rap. That is a bit much, Ben.
No, I can do it, but If I do it in my own accent, then it's
No,
then
you
it's
should do it, but
legitimate.
more to do with like you playing the
Spoken
guitar
word.
and singing, not rapping.
Yeah, well, no,
Like,
no, I can sing and
I'm
I
not
can play.
anti-rap or anything like that, but I mean, my only knowledge of rap and things is like a band like Outkast, who I thought, okay, they're actually big, but this is actually quite good. You know, it is very good. You know, to an
I'm
extent.
sorry,
But
Miss Jackson.
no, no, I don't mean
That's
Miss Jackson.
for
That's
me.
purely that song. I mean, if you actually bought that episode, that album, Stankonia
Yeah,
or whatever it's called,
Franconia.
like, you know, it's a good album.
Yeah, I listen.
It's
I listened to that
it's not a million miles
for a
away
long.
from.
I listened to that like daily when I was at school, along with
But one
the
of the
Master
songs on it
Method
was
LP,
B.O.B. Bombs Over Baghdad, and I'm like, why is it?
Bombs Over
I don't
Baghdad.
understand what this is about. But the thing is, it doesn't really matter. It's like listening to Eminem's albums around that time, like the Marshall Mathers LP or something. You know, it's kind of
Yeah.
it's a mixture of skits and then rapping and then songs which are very mainstream, perhaps to a degree. You know, and like Stan or something. I mean, that samples Dido of all things. You know, so it's hardly. It's not just
No,
one
you're
guy
right.
in his bedroom anymore, is it? But it's. I don't think Eminem's ever been accused of just sort of like selling out in a typical sense, you know, even though, of course, he is probably one of the world's most famous rappers. So, if not the most.
Well, Chris
Hmm.
Rock had a bit
Apart from So Solid Crew and.
apart from So Solid.
Well, even the name So Solid Crew is like terrible. It sounds like
Mm.
someone taking a shit or sort of like, what do you mean? You can only eat
Worse.
solid. You can't eat. You're not eating pureed food anymore. No, I'm only eating solids now.
Oh yeah.
So I'm a member of the So
I'm onto,
Solid
I'm
crew.
onto, I'm onto broccoli and
Like how many
pickle.
people are in this crew? We've now got 74 people in the crew. And
But
it's
you
just
know
like,
what? There is
what the hell are
there-
you?
There's so much really good English British hip hop that
Well,
comes
yeah,
from
I'm sure.
Wales, that comes from even Ireland.
What, you're
That
bringing
comes
in the Welsh band now, Goldie Looking Chain. I mean, that is
Goldie Looking Chain. Well,
they're
I'm
one
not
of the best bands ever.
specifically talking about Goldie Looking Chain, even though they were a really funny
No, I
group.
mean, there's nothing wrong with them. I mean,
No, they were good. They were
I'm not
decent.
saying I bought all their albums, but I didn't buy all
No,
of
I didn't
Eminem's
buy a
albums
single
either.
album.
I didn't buy all of Outkast's albums, but I know about them. You know, it's because when I went to Atlanta, I saw posters for Outkast around, and I was like,
Oh
oh,
yeah,
okay,
yeah, but that's where they come from.
exactly, yeah.
That's their city. I
Yeah,
didn't
so
know you went to Atlanta. When did you go to Atlanta?
a long time ago, and I brought it up on the show in the past, and people were like, "Why did you go to Atlanta?" You know, and I'm like,
Because
"Well,
outcasts come from.
it's the same as any
When I
other area, surely." It's,
when I was about 17, I heard that Eminem was playing at the London, God, some sort of stadium, London
that's
Stadium.
supporting So Solid Crew. That's,
No,
no,
no, no, no,
no.
no. What's ironic is Outkast was supposed to support, but Outkast pulled out at the
Oh,
last
okay.
minute, and they had to get some UK rappers to support, and
Hmm.
the crowd was completely silent.
Well,
And when
arguably,
Eminem came on stage,
Outkast are better than Eminem, really.
well, you know,
I
that's
don't mean that.
debatable. That's debatable,
Yeah.
but like when Eminem came on stage with his,
Well, anything's
like,
debatable.
it literally he made a remake of his the house that he grew up in,
Oh, okay,
and
okay.
he had this whole sort of like he had this amazing like show that started with a bunch of kids, like a found footage film, and they enter Eminem's house.
Blair Witch
and
Project.
They find like Blair Witch Project. They enter this.
Well, that was very much in the
Eminem comes
zeitgeist
out with a
back then, wasn't it?
chainsaw and a ski mask on his face,
Yeah. I mean, I
And
think
then he starts out with, "That's why they call me Slim Shady. I'm back." And
yeah, but I think the thing with Eminem is like he brought a lot of things that people would see as being a bit dodgy into the mainstream, and I think that's a good thing. It's a bit like with Marilyn Manson in a way, but you know, the chainsaw business and stuff like that, it's like almost been sullied now by the recent Elon Musk incident. But yeah,
no, fuck,
I
God, I
mean,
saw that. That was so
Phantom Cooper
embarrassing.
asks Ben, "Are you a drill fan?" Yeah, I know, but with Elon Musk,
Not
who
really. I know.
Bill.
I'm not really into UK hip hop
Yeah, but
unless
did
it's
you know that
culture.
what Bill Burr said about Elon Musk recently?
Yeah, yeah.
He
He's
called him
been. He's
a
been.
laminate face C. I mean, it
Okay.
is true though. It's his face does look like it's been laminated. So
I know.
I don't like his. I don't like Elon Musk's wet mouth. It always looks like a gaping maw. Like it's just a big kind of blob of. He's not. I
Yeah.
mean, he's
I
not an
mean,
attractive man, and I don't know how many children he's had by like
he's in an illegal immigrant.
IVF or whatever the hell he's doing. You know, test tube babies or something
Apparently,
with.
well, yeah. No, apparently, like he hasn't actually had any
I don't think he's
sexual
ever had
intercourse.
sex with a woman ever
To yeah,
because
because he just wants to
the way he behaves,
basically.
it's like as if he's some kind of virgin who's just about to have his first intercourse with like a prostitute. I mean, he's insane.
Did
I
you
mean,
hear
why a
that?
grown man in his 50s is start doing star jumps on a stage? It's just
I
bizarre.
know.
But he's on
Well,
ketamine
you know what?
apparently, so you know.
He's on. Yeah, apparently he's getting IV ketamine drips
Is that true?
to. Well, that's what I heard. It's a rumor that's going around that's
Well, I think
pretty.
that's the least of his problems. I think he's just an imbecile. Like the
Well, I
whole
mean,
idea of him being a genius is totally
you know,
false. It's
Andrew Tate and his brother in Romania were being held in prison
well, they're
for.
Completely just terrible.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
know. But
Well,
it was Elon Musk who granted them bail and let them move back to America.
well, I'm not sure about all the ins and outs of everything to do with that, but I think that those people are a good example of like how social media and stuff can make people very well known despite them having no talent whatsoever. You know, and like elevating like chinless wonders into sort of like, oh, I'm going to go around and punch a woman in the face and it's all hilarious, and then these women going missing, you know, linked to those people. I mean, basically, we're talking
But
human trafficking, so
well,
that's
that's
not.
what his
It's not
charge.
funny, is it? You know.
That's what his charges were. He had like
Well, we've gone
30
off topic.
women.
We were talking about Elon Musk. Now we've gone on to Andrew Tate. I mean,
Yeah, I know because I think it's Elon Musk who pardoned Andrew Tate to
yeah, I know, but
actually get.
you're going into almost like
I know. I
just
don't.
conspiracy theories like elements, and I think.
No. I think it's pretty obvious
But even if it's true, what? So what? You know, it's like
because Elon Musk,
what do you
like,
expect from Elon Musk? You know,
well, exactly. I mean,
he's just
I
like
don't.
an
I don't
he's
disagree with you. I just
he's
think
not an
that
intelligent person, is he? I mean,
no.
but they present him as if he's a genius, but he's not. You know, he's
He came from money.
yeah, but he came from also like a situation where he's taken over a whole company, and then it's to do with the cult of personality, similar with not Lynch, Trump. You know,
Trump,
and
yes, cult of personality.
well, I don't know about that being a. I don't think Lynch was so much a cult of personality as just a cult.
Do
But
you remember when Trump said that Lynch was a fan of his with no actual proof?
no, he said that Lynch said that Trump wouldn't be able to become as great as he wants to be because he treats people like shit, basically. So
Yeah, but Trump took that to say that that was
Well, his
that was
initial comment was he thought that Trump can't say anything. He can say anything and nobody can counter him, which seemed a bit of a bizarre statement. But you've got to bear in mind that Lynch comes from a slightly conservative background and had like libertarian opinions somewhat, and then would vote for, say, the Natural Law Party. But then he says, basically, I'm a Democrat. So, I mean, with Lynch, he was all over the place. Because at the end of the day, Lynch was just, into transcendental meditation and being an artist. He wasn't into politics, really. So,
no.
And I think if you're in America, you can probably understand that better because Lynch is someone who just wanted to be left alone to do his own thing. He said he believed very strongly in traffic regulations, but not regulations, for instance, on him smoking, which, you might think, well, if the regulations had stopped you smoking, we'd still have you alive now. But, that's
Yeah, that was probably
a shame.
how he
But,
got cancer.
well, it wasn't cancer, it was emphysema.
COPD.
So.
What is the COPD?
Yeah, he had that, but also, in general, his health wasn't terrible. So, it obviously it was the smoking though that really impacted. But
Of course, I know. As someone who smoked from the age of
well,
about
we all knew it
17.
anyway for ages. From going back years, we were like observing how Lynch's seemed to be wheezing a bit and things like this, and we're like, oh, I hope he's okay, and
Well,
so
like 4 years ago, 4 years ago, when people were debating the Series 4, I was kind of
see, well, yeah.
facetiously and I was kind of like rudely saying, "Oh yeah, if he lives to direct season 4," and I was right.
Well,
He
many
called it.
people said the same stuff, but I don't want to go into this kind of thing of talking about
No, I
predicting
know. I'm sorry.
celebrity or famous people's deaths or something. I mean, it's just we don't know them personally, and I think it's best to just go by the kind of the family just wants privacy, and so that's why I didn't do videos about this kind of thing in part, mainly because from a personal perspective, I just didn't have anything to say. I'm not going to do a video about celebrating Lynch or something, which is just like we've been doing that on the videos for the last 7 or 8 years, really. So it's.
Exactly.
I mean,
And
I
now you
don't.
see all these.
I didn't view Lynch as a celebrity. I just viewed him as a painter and a director and stuff, and I didn't
Yeah,
necessarily agree with everything that he said, and the partly like the over going on about transcendental meditation as much as he did. Sometimes I wondered what exactly is the point of this, but that's because he had the David Lynch Foundation and stuff. I don't disagree with any of that. I just think surely focusing on your own art and your own films is like should take precedent to some degree. But
well, I think he probably
it's up to him.
created that foundation just to monetize his next project.
Not
Whatever.
really. He didn't do it to make any money because he didn't get paid anything to do any of that stuff. He just basically he would actually send his own money to people who wanted to learn transcendental meditation. I never knew that, but like if people reached out to Lynch himself personally and says, "Hey, I want to do TM," he'd send money to people. So he made most of his money from things like doing advertisements. He didn't make money from doing Twin Peaks: The Return
Wait,
massively.
Lynch directed commercials.
Yeah, many commercials. Many.
Oh, a lot of them when he was in France, right?
No, he directed many American commercials for things
Oh.
like perfumes, and he directed one for Toyota for the.
Did you ever hear that evil radio prank where they were saying, "Call in if you're the 100th caller, you'll win a Toyota."
Well, we're coming to nearly an hour now, Ben. Anyway, so I'm going to just say
But
let's
it
keep the
wasn't
show
a
to an hour.
Toyota car. It was a toy Yoda. Good night, James.
Yeah, we're now at an hour, so I was going to say we ought to just keep it at an hour rather than
It was nice
carry
talking
it
to you. Love
because I
you.
need I need to have some food, Ben. And
Yeah, so
um,
do
have you ate anything this evening?
I had half a pizza that I heated up in the microwave.
Oh, okay. Um,
Just mushrooms and peppers and onions and garlic and
yeah, it's been good to talk to you and everything, Ben. I think I appreciate you coming on the show a lot, so thank you.
no, thank you. And you take care.
Because there will be short videos coming from this. Thank you. They'll probably be get more views than the actual video. So if you can tell anyone online, Phantom Cooper, about these videos, that would help always. Because not that I think necessarily they're going to get a massive audience, because we're not talking about anything specifically. It's not like, oh, they've announced a new series based on some scripts that Lynch left. Like, he left 13 scripts. We've now got 7 people watching apparently. So it's like, I don't know who
Well,
these people are, and if they don't go in the chat, I don't know who you. If you're watching now, just say hello in the chat, please. Other than, obviously, Phantom Cooper is still there,
I
but
didn't I didn't know about these hidden scriptures from Lynch.
well, they're called Unrecorded Night Wisteria. So, bearing in mind that he talked about, that's Johnny Cyberpunk Dystopia. So, hello,
Hey
Johnny.
Johnny.
I hope you're all right, and thank you for watching, of course. But I'm going to keep this video short tonight, so we could always do a video at some point, anytime you want to, Johnny. Just tell me. And
Okay.
yeah, I think rather than have this go into like a 5-hour video about everything and anything. I mean, as much as I like doing that, don't get me wrong, but I've not
No,
had
it's
any
cool.
food,
No,
and
no, it's cool.
yeah.
I gotta
No,
do
I'm
I got
talking more about the people watching, not you
Oh,
know.
okay, sorry.
I'm not. I mean, Louis B is ready to jump on at any point, and lubed up and ready. But no, sorry, I mean, that's just. I started the show saying I was lubed up, so and
You, I remember.
I mean that's a nice thing to say, isn't it? But it's not offensive though, is it? Really, it's just kind of PG rated humour. It's not like anything particularly ridiculous.
I don't think I said a single swear word.
I don't go out of my
Maybe
way to be
maybe
foul
one
language.
S and one
I've
F.
not used any F words or anything like that. It
Yeah.
just brings the thing, brings the tone down a bit, doesn't it? But sometimes swearing can be maybe amusing, but like, what was I talking about anyway? I think the thing with Lynch and everything to do with Twin Peaks and stuff like that is he wrote those scripts and they're probably adjacent to Twin Peaks, or at least related in some way to the whole Carrie Page thing, because Lynch spoke about that. But
But
knowing the
it's gonna be
way,
like the JFK files. We're never gonna read them until 50 years
I'm
later.
sure we'll probably get something. I think like they could be just like Inland Empire, you see, and then people are like, "Oh, Inland Empire is too confusing, and I don't understand it. It's too Lynch or something," And then the people who didn't like, who were very vehement against the return, it's like, well, do you really want to see those 13 scripts? Like with me, I'm like, yes, Jen Lynch, you should make them now, do it. But that's not realistic. That's sort of,
Oh, are they in her hands now?
what, at this very moment.
No, I mean
I
like
don't mean to be pedantic, but
Jenna. I mean his daughter. Are they?
Jennifer. Well, I think that if anybody would have read them, it's going to be Sabrina, Jennifer, his sons, his ex-wife, maybe, or why,
Catherine Coulson.
Pretty unlikely, bear in mind that Catherine Coulson passed away in
I know.
2017.
Sorry, that was a joke.
No, but I think he would have been writing them probably from the time even that they finished The Return. Because, like, at the time, I was like, oh, we'll definitely get something within about 2 years. Because this ending, it's not even an ending. It's just like, this seems like the start of something else. Like, maybe
Yeah,
it'll be Cooper and Carrie's road trip, and then they meet Doc Brown on the road, and it's like,
Doug Brown.
well, no, seriously, I thought that the whole thing was going in a kind of weird genre, not
That's
gender, but
hilarious.
genre bending. Like, I can't
No,
see Lynch just going, yeah, let's just do it all set in Twin Peaks, and it's about Cooper giving thumbs up constantly in the diner and saying, hey, I'm back in Twin Peaks, and everyone's like, yeah, but what are you doing here? I don't know. I just like the coffee. It's like you've got to have a reason for Cooper to be there. And in The Return, it was taken to ridiculous levels where Cooper's basically pursuing Mr. C, and then Mr. C, as soon as he gets there, it's like everyone treats him as if everything's completely normal when he looks like a vagrant
he
or
looks
I don't
like
know.
a Hell's Angels biker.
I don't know. I mean, he looked like
I
bloody.
think that's what they based his
Yeah, but Andy and Lucy seemed to think everything was fine initially.
clothing on.
Then Andy started seeming to have some kind of recollection of a dream, or Lucy did, and saying very important, which is
That was in series. Sorry, that was in episode 17.
um,
One.
yes, yeah,
Yeah.
part 8, part 17, as they wanted it to be called, as part of volume 3 of Twin Peaks, if you can see it as that way, where I think they wanted it to be seen as a limited event series where it's sort of, it is Twin Peaks, but it's also something else, it's like a new version of that whole thing, and there's elements in there that you're not necessarily going to immediately gravitate towards, i.e. the Bob Ball business. Like, people are like, well, this is ridiculous and the special effect looks terrible, like me. Why are they doing this? And I'm thinking afterwards, actually it worked really well because the episode after that part becomes really, I don't know, it just felt very Twin Peaksy after. I mean, particularly, I suppose using a lot of the black and white footage from Fire Walk with Me and stuff added to that, but
Yeah.
it just had this kind of real tone to it that I think Lynch could capture so well, where it was a mixture of seriousness and then light moments, sort of, and just the Bob Ball business. Yes, it was ridiculous, but it was obviously. It's not like Lynch was thinking this special effect looks fantastic. This is on a par with the latest Marvel movie, and this is going to do better. This is going to do better than Spider-Man beats off his balls. I mean,
Of course not. But
the Bob thing was absurd. It
was an idea that he stuck with.
Yeah, but behind the scenes, Lynch was saying, "Has anybody got any eggs?" And then breaking the eggs and putting them around the Bob-shaped hole in the floor.
That probably would have been a better finale.
That we didn't do that during making like the Avengers,
Yeah.
the Avengers, whatever the hell name, Civil War or something, Part 7.
Yeah.
I mean,
Avengers.
let's get some eggs. We're gonna break them all over the Hulk's hole he's made in the floor by farting and punching then the hole into the floor because I don't know. It's actually the Red Hulk that's in the new Captain America, where it's a different Captain America. And then Harrison Ford's also in it, apparently, giving a good performance, but everyone else is like, this film's too bad for his good performance. And it's like, well, that's Marvel for you. What do you expect? I mean...
Oh, well. I'm not a fan of superhero films whatsoever.
I don't think the eggs are there supposed to be signifying anything other than... partly it could be the yellowness of... He was using the yolks. Oh, no, I can hear myself now. You've got me on something that's... Have you, you know,
I was
um,
getting a call.
oh, all right, sorry. And then is it from Anna? Or-
No, don't worry. It's from.
Um, in Bristol.
No, actually, you know what? I should probably leave because I have to talk to my brother before he goes to
Oh,
sleep.
all right, yeah. Do
But
that,
thanks for
yeah.
having me on, mate.
It's just been nice remembering the Bob Ball incident, and
I know
it's a great moment in film and TV history, to be honest.
it's one
With
of the
Freddie
best.
smashing them, I mean,
One of the
what more
best.
can you ask for? I think people wanted Twin Peaks to come back, and Lynch gave them that in the perfect. All right, mate. I'm here to fulfill my destiny. And Cooper's like, you,
I got a gardening glove on my
you,
on my hand.
and people were like, this is the best Twin Peaks I've ever seen.
All right, James, I need to
This
go.
is this is the damn fine episode and the best Twin Peaks we could ever hope for.
It's the best episode of Coffee Time, and you have me to thank for that.
Yeah, it's been 1 hour 10 minutes of solid gold.
I
I
know.
think, even though many people might
So
not agree with that.
let's
I
not
don't know.
spoil it now.
All right, fair enough. I don't want to spoil the
Okay.
eggs.
Take care.
Take care there, and I'll just say cheerio on my own as well. Yes.
Bye, bro.
Thank you for coming on, Ben. All the best.
Bye.
Lots of
Thank
love.
you for letting me on.
And wish your
Cheers.
mum well as well.
Thank you.
And
Good
your
night.
dog.
Oh, cheers. Bye.
Cheers. Oh, this is my destiny. All right. Yeah, well, it reminds Phantom Cooper of a character from Dark Souls. Angel's Egg, a great anime, sorry, says at Phantom Cooper, says Johnny. Well, I've not seen that, but I'm open-minded enough to. I could watch an anime now at this point, to be honest. I didn't really watch much stuff like that in the past, apart from maybe something like Akira, or but that's going back a while. I mean, I think even with something like Twin Peaks: The Return, it was good in that it wasn't just specifically like, okay, let's do Twin Peaks. It had a very open feel to. It's kind of open-minded, perhaps, in the sense that it embraced a lot of different things. But perhaps for some people, it was a little bit too light-hearted in certain ways, rather than just trying to recapture something. But I think if it had only been like, let's do Twin Peaks, again, then it would have been probably would have been just as people would have found fault with that as well. It's kind of something of it's something of its own thing, and a lot of the stuff to do with like the lack of owls in Twin Peaks, the lack of like rainy shots of trees, and it did have the woods in it and things, but it all seemed a bit like not bland, but it seemed like dry slightly, a bit had to remove. Let's just have shots of the trees, and they go to that Jack Rabbit's palace and things, but it didn't seem perhaps as moody as it possibly could have been. It had this slight digitized feel about the whole thing, even the way the Red Room and the Black Lodge and everything looked different, even in The Return. I don't think it was just like, okay, this has happened by accident, when behind the scenes Lynch was like, plaster of Paris bullshit. Lynch was very much, and Frost, very much like about specifics and what are we doing with this, It's very much Twin Peaks for 2017, and there are so many aspects in it that kind of leave you with questions like, why is Leyland Palmer only in 2 scenes, and he just says find Laura. I mean, it's just too many mysteries, too many layers of mystery to even start going into now. So 8 p.m. here in the UK. So anyway, thank you for anyone who's been watching. I appreciate it. I think in time people will find the channel, but you know, it probably would be good to even start doing discussions about anime or something like that, or different films from whenever, you know. Like we should even start talking about The Keep by Michael Mann, which Johnny did suggest to do at Christmas, but then I think just was the wrong timing or something, unfortunately. You know, it probably also it'd be good to get some new guests, but we'll see. It's these things will happen inevitably, but there's no point just constantly discussing it on the video itself. I realise that, but thank you anyone for watching now, and thank you everyone there watching. Thank you for watching. Again, I've said that now 50 times, and I appreciate obviously anyone who takes the time to find these videos on the new channel. So all the best for now, and see you in the trees. Yep. Cheers, and see you as well, Johnny. Thank you again to Phantom Cooper, Louis B, and of course Johnny there. Thank you. All the best for now, and again thank you to Ben for coming on. Much appreciated. Have a good night or good day wherever you are.